Hey guys, what's up? Son of Chelsea here for my Everton versus Chelsea preview. Of course, the game is on Saturday. Back to Premier League football, thank God. The international break really is just such a bore when it comes to England. But thank God we've got Premier League football back on Saturday and a massive game, especially reflecting after the start we've had. The first four games haven't been perfect, of course, and this is a really massive game, especially now. We're going to have more games coming thick and fast. You know, it's going to be Saturday kind of Tuesday kind of games because, of course, we've got the introduction of the Champions League now, and also we've got that League Cup game coming up. So there are going to be more games coming up now. So hopefully on Saturday we can start to get back into some sort of form, and I believe we can. I think Everton is a tough place to go to. Goodison Park, you look at the last 5 times we've actually gone there, we've only won 2 and Everton won 3. So of those last 5 meetings, I mean, Everton clearly had the better of us in recent years. But looking at last year, of course, 6-3, what an amazing game. For me, probably game of the season, you know, just a rollercoaster ride of a match. And, you know, I think I could see something similar because I think Martinez definitely likes to play open, expansive football, which I think can help the likes of Costa, the likes of Hazard, even the likes of Fabregas, you know, to get more space. Pedro as well, you know, to get more space, and I think that could help a lot on Saturday because a lot of teams usually, as we know, play quite defensive, so our play becomes a bit narrow. Hopefully, because of Everton's kind of attacking kind of style and wanting to play open, you know, hopefully we'll be able to get some width into our game with Pedro and Hazard and exploit Everton's defence. Now, for me, as you've probably seen from the title of this video, for me, Loftus-Cheek must start. I've been saying this ever since the Crystal Palace game. I've been saying Loftus-Cheek for me has to start now. Jose bringing him on against Crystal Palace 1-0 down for me is a good sign. It's a positive sign because Jose wouldn't have done that. The fact that he's bringing Loftus-Cheek on when Chelsea need a goal, to me shows he obviously trusts Loftus-Cheek and clearly sees him as a first team option now. I think we can really develop him into a box-to-box midfielder. I've talked about this in my last video about transfers. If we can develop Loftus-Cheek into the player we want and the player we think is missing since Lampard's left, it would be amazing. So I think Loftus-Cheek, for a massive statement from Jose, would be to start him in midfield. So looking at the opposition, of course, Everton, this game's going to be overshadowed by John Stones, of course, all the transfer business, that's all done now. We're not going to sign John Stones. He isn't a Chelsea player. So really, I'm just focusing on the match. Of course, John Stones will kind of be the big focal point of it. But to me, I don't think it's that big. He hasn't joined Chelsea. Of course, we've seen reports that apparently he wants a 38 million buyout clause in his next contract with Everton, which again states that he probably wants to leave the club. But it doesn't matter. It's Everton versus Chelsea. John Stones is an Everton player, not a Chelsea player, and he's just another player in the Everton team who Chelsea have got to get past. So for me, of course the media will make a lot out of it, but to me it's not really that big of an issue. Looking at the threats, of course, you've got the likes of Kevin Morales, Romelu Lukaku, Delafeu. They brought him in from Barcelona on loan 2 years ago. They brought him back from Sevilla. I think he is a decent signing. He kind of plays on and off, but can be a tricky player. Of course, you've got the likes of Naismith, who do bring a lot of experience. Also, Ross Barkley in central midfield. For me, he really looks so far this season like he's starting to pick up that form he had 2 years ago. He had an off year last year, but he's picking up his form again. So he can be a player that really can sprint for our midfield. He brings a lot of power, and also he's very technically good. So I definitely say they're the players to watch out for. Of course, you've got Leighton Baines as a left back, but I think, as I've said, I think Martinez isn't that sort of tactical manager to say, okay, Leighton Baines, you just stay back. You know, I think he wants his fullbacks to press up, which I only think will help us. I think, as you saw last year, with the fact that they were playing so open and expansive, it just gave us more chances, and I think that's what probably benefits us at the moment, which is why I think Loftus-Cheek can be a key player, because I don't think if Loftus-Cheek starts, I don't think Martinez would say, okay, we've got to mock Loftus-Cheek today. I don't think Martinez is that sort of manager. He focuses on his own team and how they play. He doesn't focus on the opposition as much. I've seen that in the past. You see it a load of times. He just leaves key players to free roam and do whatever they want, which is fine when you're getting wins, but I think it could favour us on Saturday. So going into our team, I'd probably have, of course, Courtois and Begovic. Courtois' got apparently a slight injury, so right now as it stands, it doesn't look like he's going to play. Of course, when Jose does his press conference, we'll find out more, but I'll put Begovic up, and I don't get any sort of meltdown because of this. Begovic is a quality signing, a quality keeper, and a brilliant replacement to bring in. That's why we bought him, and that's why you have 2 keepers of that quality. So I've always said this, even from the Man City game, I said from what I've seen of him, he looks reliable, so I'm happy to see him back in the team, get more game time. That's why he was brought in. Back 4, I'm going to put, of course, finally, Ivanovic for me has to be dropped. I think it's kind of be criminal if Jose still has him in the team, but he has to be dropped. Aspilicueta at right back, in his favoured position, which I actually think is going to help us out in the attack as well. The centre back pairing, of course, great to have JT back after his suspension, alongside Zuma. I just think Zuma and JT, I've always said it, I just think they, as a partnership, they look better than Terry and Cahill. So I'd love to see Zuma start. Zuma, for me, rarely puts a foot wrong in a Chelsea shirt, so I'd love to see him there. Of course, left back, I want to see Babarama make his debut. I think, he's been short of fitness, but hopefully by the time we play Everton, he'll be ready, because I think he has to now. I think he has to be ready to play because, as I say, Ivanovic has got to be dropped. In central midfield, I'm going to go Matic, of course, and Loftus-Cheek. Three behind the striker. Now, there's a bit of a debate about this. The two wingers, for me, there's no argument. It's got to be Pedro and Hazard. No matter what you think about Hazard, his form this season, you still put him in there because he is Eden Hazard. Of course, the middle. Now, do we put Fabregas or do we put Oscar? Now, I'm kind of 50-50 about this. Oscar, because of his fitness issues in the early part of the season, of course, hasn't featured as much. He featured against Swansea, hasn't featured since. And, it's tough. I'm just going to go... it's so tough. I'm going to put Oscar in here. I think he deserves his chance. This is his big season. Fabregas hasn't been performing, and I think it'd be a brilliant statement by Jose to drop two players who haven't been performing as well, and hopefully they can fight their way back into the team. But I think Oscar deserves his chance now. From what he showed again in that first half against Swansea, I think he can do well, and the fact he's been training back to fitness, for me, he deserves his chance on Saturday. So, of course, Oscar, and of course, up front, Costa. I would put Falcao out there because of the form he was on, but I think Costa, especially against Everton, can cause some damage, and of course what he done last year, I think I'd love to see that replicated on Saturday. So of course it's going to be a massive game. It's at 12:45, so basically if we win, it'll be a great weekend. If we don't, basically the weekend's ruined and I won't be watching any more football. So leave me your score predictions down below. I'm going to go, I'm going to go for a 2-0 Chelsea win. I know it probably sounds ridiculous on the form we're on, but I'll be optimistic. I'll be optimistic one. I think it'll be an open game. I'll go 2-0 Chelsea. Hopefully we see Loftus-Cheek starting in that team. Please, Jose, put him in the team. I think he can be a brilliant player for us in the future, and we've got to start making him first team regular, because I believe he can be our box-to-box midfielder. So thanks for watching. Let me know all your thoughts on everything I've said in this video down in the comments. Before I go, I want to give a shout out to Tony. Of course, he's just started up his own YouTube channel, of course, from 100% Chelsea. It's called Chelsea SW6. Go and check out his channel in the description below. Of course, the link will be there. Go and check out his videos. He's got a couple at the moment, and he's going to be growing that channel, so I hope you like it. Go and check it out. And yeah, follow me on Twitter @SonofChelsea, and yep, I'll see you again.